when was the last time we got a Druddigon card? It's been a while. I can't remember the last one. Welcome back, guys. If you are new to this channel, I am Spartan Strike. I do focus on Pokemon TCG, whether it be in real life or online, and eventually I will broaden into other Pokemon related content. First, before I begin with this video, a couple quick things. I am testing out a new mic, so if it sounds a lot better, please let me know in the comments. I did invest a little bit of money into it, and I'm hoping it works out a lot better. I haven't seen or heard too much of a difference yet. It is a little bit more clear from the test videos that I've done, but I want to know your guys' opinions because you guys are the ones watching and listening in on these videos. So please let me know if the mic is actually a lot better and is helping out with the video. Second thing is, I've realized that in some of my previous videos, the video was extremely blurry, and it was because I couldn't figure out, how to get Chrome to be recognized by OBS Studios. I finally figured it out. It was a simple little oversight on my part, but because I was doing like a window display, it didn't quite capture it as well. So I do apologize for those blurry videos, as well as I think there was one deck profile that was also blurry, and that was because of an editing issue. So I should be back. I figured out from here on out, so everything should be clear now, I hope. If it's not, please continue to let me know, so that way I can kind of get that covered, but I'm pretty sure we're good here. All right, now on to the main event. We've got plenty of cards revealed, but I'm going to go ahead and start from some of the older stuff that I haven't got a chance to cover yet. We have Druddigon and we have Dragon's Talon. Now this is all coming from the new Dragonstorm expansion that's coming out soon in Japan. I think eventually August for us. So April 6th for Japan. So we might actually get a full leaked set, at least English translations, probably in the next week or so. But there's a Druddigon card here that, well, like I was saying, we haven't seen a Druddigon card in a very, very long time. It's nice to have it come back, though. It is a pretty sweet-looking dragon. It has got 110 HP, which isn't ideal, especially if it's a weakness to Fairy, but Fairy hasn't really seen a whole lot of play. Gardevoir kind of has dropped off. It's still pretty strong card, but not a lot of people are choosing to play Fairy types that often anymore. So we don't have to worry too much about that. It is a basic Pokemon, which is nice, so we can easily power it up. And the attack here is awkward. You do have to put in a fire and a water energy and any other dirt type energy for just 100 attack. It's not exactly the most ideal thing, but it is what it is. The best part of it is actually its ability. It's called Rough Skin, and there's been plenty of Pokemon that's had this kind of ability. I think Sharpedo, there was a Sharpedo a couple expansions ago that had this, and I think there was another Druddigon way back that had this ability as well. But basically, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, you put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So essentially, if you could be doing 130. You attack for 100, your opponent tries to attack you back, they take 30 extra damage. So you could technically be two-shotting Pokemon if you add a choice band, I guess so. But the 110 HP is just very, very low. It could get easily knocked out in just one hit. So maybe you want to put a Fighting Fury Belt on it. Brings it up to 150. But again, I just don't see this Druddigon card seeing a whole lot of play. It's got a nice ability, and it kind of combos well with the next card I'm going to talk about. But yeah, I don't know. There's just here. Let me talk about the next card first. So Dragon's Talon. That's this here. It's kind of obvious. It's a Talon of a dragon. It is in a dragon set. It is a tool card. If the dragon Pokemon this Pokemon tool is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, you put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So here's where it could get interesting. So let's say you manage to get the energy on Druddigon. You're gonna attack with him. You put the Dragon's Talon on there. You do 100 damage. Now, you could also have a Devouring Field in play, which increases your dragon's Pokemon's attacks by 10. So you're doing 110. Let's say that your opponent has a Tapu on the field in your active slot, whether it be Coco, Finny, or even Lele. I think Bulu has 170 HP. I can't quite remember. Someone's got to correct me on that. But anyway, they all have 170 HP. So if you're doing 110 and your opponent decides to knock out your Druddigon, they'll be knocking themselves out too, because they're taking an extra 60, which brings it up to 170, assuming that you have the Talon on their Druddigon. And so the prize trade there is really nice because you're essentially getting 2 prize cards, and it's still their turn. Well, it's going into your turn, so you kind of have an advantage. And plus, they're only taking 1 prize card. So the prize trade is nice. This setup is easy. Well, for the most part. The energy cost is just weird. But other than that, you don't have really much of anything else going on. Now, you could technically have Alterias, the new Alterias I covered in a previous video, the ones that do the extra 20 damage. So let's say you have, 3 of those, so 60. So you're doing 160, Devouring Field, 170. Now if your opponent attacks you, the Lele's are gone. Let's see, what else is there? The Zorag. Zorag could eventually be wiped out as well because you're adding in the extra 40, the 20 from the Talon, or no, an extra, oh man, I already forgot. Is it 30? Okay, so an extra 60. So let me see, 20, 40, 60, 70, so 230, which also KOs a Gardevoir. Yes, there is some potential here, but it's just the setup is like, do you really want to invest all that time and effort into a Druddigon, or would you rather invest that time into, say, a Dragonite GX or something like that, you know? So I don't really think this is going to see much play. Maybe in some budget decks, maybe as a tech to start off with, but overall, nah, I'm not too crazy about it. That's at least just my first thoughts and my first impressions of it. Maybe a 3 out of 5. The Talons, oh man, the Dragon's Talon. Sorry, losing my train of thought here. Is actually pretty nice because it reminds me of Bursting Balloon. Now, Bursting Balloon did 6 damage counters, but Bursting Balloon had to be removed at the end of your opponent's turn. Dragon's Talon, there's no removing it. It just stays there. So your opponent is constantly going to be taking those 3 damage counters. So I definitely like Dragon's Talon. I would probably rate it a little bit above Druddigon, not too much. Only because the Dragon's Talon, I think you would want to invest in, let's say, a Choice Band or maybe a Fighting Fear Belt. Because if you think about it, Dragon's Talon is dependent on whether your opponent decides to attack you or not. And with Choice Band, when you're attacking, that effect is already put into place. So you gotta weigh the pros and cons of things. But overall, that's just how I feel. These are okay cards. They fit with the theme, but I don't really think they're gonna see a whole lot of play. But that's just my first thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. If you think that this is actually like one of the best cards that come out, or if you see some other sort of strategy to it, please let me know. I am really open to a whole lot of opinions here, and I want to know what you guys think. But that's going to be pretty much it for this one. Nothing too crazy. I do have several others to cover, which deserve their own little video. So I'm going to move on to those. Please like, subscribe, do what you got to do, and I will see you all in the next video.